Welcome to Adults Only Comedy Berlin. Today we have Karl Pinzon Bustillo?
Bustillo.
Bustillo or
Bustillo.
Bustillo. Because you're from Colombia.
Colombia. Hola, sí, ay.
So you're like the biggest red flag to me ever.
Oh, yeah, right. You have a history with our people. And on behalf of our people, I'm sorry.
What is the reputation of Colombian men?
Well,
men. We'll say just men. That's what I married. I married a Colombian man.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So, my memories of my time as a man in Colombia were very gay. Secretly gay. No, secretly gay. You know, like, well, if somebody else sucks my cock, then I'm not gay. Or kind of like double standard.
Like a hole, like a hole is a hole. Like if you're just fucking a butthole, it's not just because it's on a guy doesn't make me gay.
Precisely. It was very fluid, but at the same time, you had to show that you were a man. You know, it was the.
Oh, you fuck that butthole like a man.
Yeah. That kind of politic. Like if you see a hole, fill it.
Just it's like good tradesman skills. I just want to fill all the holes.
Filling holes. That's a thing that Colombian men are known for. That and their ability to pout.
Pout. Ooh.
You know, like what is it? What is it again? What's that word that I'm looking for?
Be spoiled brats.
Yeah, be a little bit of a brat, but not in that way, but just like whine a lot instead of just like communicating emotions.
Very good, yes.
And
that's
then,
exactly right.
Mama's boys.
Oh my God.
Forever. Am I describing your ex-husband?
You are describing my ex-husband, yes. But like mama's boy, but like, like not a lot of respect for mama, but a mama's boy.
That's another thing. Like the relationship with family with Colombian guys is traumatic, tormentous, and at best times is diplomatic in a political way. Like you have to be in contact with your family because either they give you money or they supply you with something, so you have to keep like this facade.
Yeah,
that's taken some time to heal. I had to mend the relationship with my mom just to be able to have any kind of relationship with people. Because if you don't have like that relationship clear in your life, that's my opinion. If I didn't have that relationship clear in my life, or if I didn't like break up with my original couple in a way that would be like healthy and that would be sustainable, I will be repeating the same relationship over and over and over again.
Absolutely. If everyone actually repaired, or not repaired, but looked at honestly their relationships with their parents, then they would stop fucking people who represent the worst characteristics of their parents, or who, set up that same dynamic that you have with your parents.
Like for instance, the image of the troubled man with the beer and the depression, like the man that needs saving and needs fixing. I played that along my 20s,
and I fucked that a lot in my 20s.
It's I don't mean to bring my therapist to this, but my therapist told me once, do you believe in love at first sight? And I'm like, of course, it's happened to me more than once. Like, well, let me tell you something about love at first sight. When you are in a room and you see somebody on the other side of the room and you identify with that person, what's happening is that your emotional wounds and this person's emotional wounds are actually like attracting each other because whether you like it or not, the universe or this plane of existence is made of waves, and you are vibrating on that level and they are vibrating on that level. So of course you're going to recognize yourself and you're going to start identifying from your wounds, and what you're going to be doing with this person who gives you this moment of solace is going like, but why does it hurt like that? And this person is going, I don't know, why does it hurt like that? And nobody's going to be able to solve each other's equations or Rubik's cubes.
Is there love at first sight, where it's actually like you see what you want and the other person sees what they want, where it's more, you've sifted through your problems, you're aware of what your issues are, and you actually know what you're looking for? Does that love at first sight happen?
Oh my God! But I identified that with I'm just gonna talk in images now. Like we're talking about holes. And people that like filling holes. Imagine you see that hole and you think that you can fill that hole with you. You see that hole in somebody else and you're like, I know what I'll do. I'll put more of me on that person. And then what I discovered with myself is that the more that I put of myself on another person's existential hole, the more I lost myself a little bit.
Oh, totally. It doesn't work like that. It needs to be a partnership where each are independent and you have fun together, but you're working on your own things and you can see each other's pain, but you don't have to, it's not your responsibility, the pain. You're just, you can understand it.
You can talk about it, you can be empathetic about it, but it's always like a personal journey. For me, the journey was to understand that I have a hole in my existence. It's never going to be filled. The only thing that I can do with my hole is just like rub it around with a thumb.
Why will it never be filled?
Well, because my process has led me to the understanding that I don't need to fill that hole anymore.
Okay.
That I can just live with a hole in me.
There's so many butthole jokes that I'm thinking of right now.
Exactly. Look, you remember that before we went into lockdown, I had like a thing about buttholes. Like I did a thing about eating ass. Like 3 minutes about eating ass on stage. And I have extended that so much into capitalism and how capitalism teaches you that you have to like fill that hole with things like buy stuff, have experiences, read books, drugs, whatever. Just like do things. If this is who I am, if I have a hole, an existential hole, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lubricate this hole and I'm going to play with it. Because my sexual experience, my whole experience with BDSM has taught me that just because you see a hole doesn't mean that you have to fill it.
Yeah.
Unless somebody else tells you, like, can you play with it? And sometimes playing with a hole means expanding it, making it bigger, and not just like filling it or filling it with two things or filling both holes or, just like licking that hole, playing with your finger with that hole. There's so many more things that you can do with a hole other than just fill it.
Yeah, okay, I like this. I like buttholes as a metaphor for like personal trauma and seeking understanding and partnership. Okay, so you talked about your nesting partner. Why do you use the term nesting partner?
Because they are a bird.
They are a bird. Is that like an old school chauvinistic term for a female?
Yeah, no. No, Maria is actually non-binary like me.
So you guys are poly non-binary.
Yes.
What the fuck does that mean?
I love it. I'm trying to embrace that my lifestyle is gonna give a lot of comedians a lot of material to talk about. Don't you hate it about those people who talk about their partners or as they, and you're thinking all the time, do they have a penis? Do they have a vagina?
There's like Freddie's bit where she's like, fucking people in open relationships, they're just greedy.
Oh my God. Or like my stepfather, when I came out as poly, he was so proud of me. He was just like, good job.
You're getting all of it.
So how many people are you seeing? Oh, that's great. I wish I could do that with your mom. I was like, dude, you're still my stepdad. We have this good relationship.
I feel like there was unofficially, if you're listening, I don't know, maybe my memory's wrong, but I feel like my stepdad was also a bit like, oh wow, so like you're just fucking a bunch of people and you're married? That's so cool.
That's so cool.
He didn't say that that's so cool, but I could see the twinkle in his eyes, but then like still sort of echoing or reflecting the same sentiment of my mother, which was like, but is this safe and is your heart safe? That concern of non-monogamy.
Oh yeah. I mean, I jumped into the non-monogamy wagon when I moved to Berlin because I was on a bar and I was hit upon, approached by a beautiful woman, like very regal, not a club chick, not like this kind of party person, but like an office person with I like people with things that make me go like, oh, what's that? And this person had vitiligo, like white patches on her body, and she was just amazing. And we started kissing, and I started just like getting things. And the first thing that she told me was like, by the way, I have a husband. I was like, oh, okay. So does he know you're here? Yeah, we're non-monogamous. I'm like, what's that? And this person was like my gateway for that. And then I had a short relationship with this person where her husband was aware. Her husband wasn't involved, but he knew about me. I remember one time that I went to her house. He had left like a joint behind for me to enjoy, and I thought like, wow, that's really cool. That was something that I will do. And prior to that, I was married to a German person in Leipzig, and the relationship ended because this person thought that I needed more than one person in my life. And at that moment, I really didn't know anything about non-monogamy, and my state of mind was just like, we'll be together, and if you need to be with somebody else, that's fine. I'm not jealous. I don't care. And it didn't work the other way around. One day we were in a spa and everybody was naked, and I told my then wife, can you imagine when we're like 55 and we're like in a sauna and we start like swinging around with other people? And my ex-wife started crying. I'm like, why would you say that to me? Why would you think that we need something else in our life? So from monogamy to meeting this person, it opened my eyes to, wow, what's this? And I started going down that rabbit hole, and I started experimenting with relationship anarchy, which is like multiple relationships with no hierarchy. But then when I met Maria...
It sounds horrible. That sounds so stressful. Relationship anarchy, that just sounds like hell. That sounds like... No, but like, it just sounds like, getting thrown into, like, how many ways could you hurt people? Like, it just... And hurt yourself. It just seems... It seems like a battle. It really seems like some circle of hell where it's just
well, you have to differentiate between, like, hedonism, which is fucking around and not having any responsibilities with the emotions of somebody, and then relationship anarchy, which is somebody who says like, I might just live on my own, or I might live in a house with more than one partner. But when I met Maria, one of the first things that they told me was that they were looking for an esteemed partner, and I was like, well, what is that? Like, well, somebody I can like form a family with, have like a nucleus that I can come back to, but at the same time have a polycule is what that's called, which is like a molecule with different centers.
Cool. Oh, Karl. So this is basically, it's funny. I had this open marriage, and I left this Colombian husband of mine because he was too jealous. There were lots of problems in the relationship. It wasn't just that. Like, he wanted the open relationship. I'd never considered non-monogamy, not since I was like 16. I think my second ever boyfriend in high school, he was like, let's have an open relationship because I just got a blowjob yesterday. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Great. Thank you.
This is working for me.
I'm glad it's working out for you.
Your dick's tasting way better. And so and then at one point, my very first like real boyfriend after high school, we had a moment where we were in an open relationship. But that was just in one of those moments where it was like, I broke up with him, and then it was just based on sort of insecurity of like letting something go. And then I fucked around and kept it nice and hidden. Like, an open relationship in my mind worked. And then we were out one night together, and then he went home with a girl that he was dancing with. And I was like, dude, like, that's not how this works. You don't leave me to go fuck someone else. Do it when I don't know about it. And it really fucked me up. And that was when I was like 20. So I never considered an open relationship until this marriage, the love of my life, love at first sight, super wounded. Me being like, yeah, let's do this. And the whole story of the relationship, like, he was moving into the house that he'd bought with his wife the night before,
Wow.
like the day after we met. We were at a party where they were celebrating that they bought this house and they were moving in the next day. And I started, like, the party started, they lived with my good friend. I didn't really know him that well. The party started with me making out with her, and I knew her, the wife, quite well. And we were just making out. It was sloppy. And then I saw him across the room, and I was like, fuck, I've never spoken to him. And our eyes locked, boom. And then we ended up making out. And then we were like, I was like, come back to my place. So I took him from his party to go to my house. And then he moved into his house the next day with his wife, and apparently moved into the second bedroom, and that was the start of their breakdown. Now, they were in an open relationship,
Right.
but I broke it, apparently.
Well, you didn't break it.
It was yeah.
It was broken already. And it was like, do you know those
Exactly.
plates that you like touch and they go like bam? It was just because somebody pre-broke them.
It was a pre-broken plate,
Yeah.
this marriage. Exactly. Thank you, Carl. And yeah, well, it was messy. Anyway, very early on, he was like, look, I had an open relationship with Huli. What's her name?
It's not their name. No, yeah.
Yeah. I had an open relationship with Huli because she cheated on me, basically. And so that really hurt. And so we decided to open up the relationship. And I don't want that to happen again. And I think we're smart enough. We could do an open relationship.
Right.
Let's do it. And I was like, whoa, this sounds... Also, it was triggered as well, this conversation, by the fact that at my birthday party, I started making out with some of my girlfriends. And so then the conversation really started the next day of like, Anna, you like to do this stuff too. Let's make this properly open.
The thing with open relationships here in Berlin is that it's a lot of FOMO. It's what I feel.
Totally.
Well, it's just like, I want to keep my options open. Like I'm with you, I like you, but something better might appear. That's like a general mentality. I think that 2020 has worked a lot with FOMO and a lot of people because you don't have anything to
It's
meet
helped
that-
a lot
yeah.
of people.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like heavy work on your FOMO,
Yeah.
on mine at least.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This not debauchery, but what was the word that I was using? There's
Hedonism, no.
this hedonism. This hedonism has nothing to do with the ethical non-monogamy. Because by ethical non-monogamy, you have to have a lot of talks.
Oh, dude, it takes so much work to be ethically non-monogamous.
It's a lot of work.
Oh my God.
And it helps you like confront a lot of things. Like I'm gonna just put an example. My other partner, Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Hey, Amanda.
Taught me something.
And hey, Maria. I didn't say hey, Maria.
And Maria. Hey, Maria. Maria says hi, by the way.
Oh, hey, Maria.
And Amanda, I told Amanda like, we don't get to have any threesomes anymore in this whiny voice.
Oh, I love it. We don't get to have any threesomes anymore.
Not her and me, but like generally. And it's like, hey, there's no whining here. Do you know that whining is actually unresolved emotions that you have? You need to better express your emotions. Mm-hmm. So that's the kind of relationship that I really like. It's the one that confronts you like with your own bullshit.
Shit, yeah.
Yes, and
Shit, yeah.
And I didn't have like, what the fuck do you mean? But I was just like, whoa. It's like somebody putting a mirror in front of you, and you're like, looking at that.
Yeah, and that's what a partner should be able to do. Like support you when you're really like when you're suffering. It's like they listen and they don't try necessarily problem solve for you. They listen first, and then when they're acting like when you or the other is acting like a piece of shit, they'll put up the mirror, and it's not like you are this and you are this. It's like, hey, this is happening. Let's use some better strategies here because the communication is actually causing pain.
But then if you're only in it for like how many
holes
can I fill? Like if you're in a quota of filling holes or filling this hole,
Getting filled.
then I mean, I remember being here in Berlin before I started doing stand-up comedy and having a Bumble account where I put on what will be your ideal first date, putting like going to a sauna date because I have a large penis and I know that if somebody sees my penis they're gonna go like, let's have sex. So that was just me like trying to bait people into having sex. And then at some point I went on a date with somebody that I really like. And this person just showed me like, there's something with you. Fix that. Find yourself. And we found that out on Berlin Offensive. That was my first comedy show that I saw. And I remember that I heckled Francesco.
Really?
Yes. And at the end of the show, Francesco told me like, you think you're smart? Why don't you go to an open mic?
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's hilarious.
Francesco told me that, and the person that I was on a date with told me at the end of the day, like, maybe it will be better if we don't see each other ever again.
You're that guy. You're that guy who heckles in the crowd that loses his fuck option by the end of the show. That's amazing.
Yeah. And that opened... And
that's how you started comedy.
Man, that opened my eyes, and that lifted a whole new depression that I was getting here in Berlin, which was that I was becoming this body individual, 38-year-old with no possibility of fulfilling this need of being like in a small community, like in a family environment with somebody building something different. Like I thought, I'm going to be the eternal single person who's going to be like hitting here, hitting there, going from serial relationship to serial relationship. I can't that. I need to connect. I had some sort of a need, and I was getting to a crisis where I was contemplating suicide and stuff like that. And stand-up comedy really just like, I remember I was on unemployment, and I took 3 months of only doing stand-up comedy. Like I took my last 3 months of unemployment just like doing it every night, like sucking, like bombing, everything, and not dating, not going out on anything, not getting laid.
Comedy is good for not dating.
Especially when you're beginning. At the beginning, it's like...
because it's just... You wouldn't take anyone to watch. Oh my God,
my
no.
Lord. And not only that, but every time that you bomb, people get away from you faster than if you had like some sort of plague.
The humiliation. It's amazing.
It was really difficult because I saw all these beautiful people, and people see me, and I come across as a little bit creepy because I don't really know how to connect with people. I connect with people with knowledge. Like I remember the first time that I tried to explain to you the difference between your vulva and your vagina.
The first time we met, yeah. Were you referring to a joke of mine, or how did it come up? Because we were at joke time.
No, you were saying something disgusting about your vagina as a joke on the green room.
That's not like me.
And I think you were referring about the lips, about the labia, and you say vagina. And me trying to be the smart ass, I told you, I think you mean your vulva and not your vagina.
Yeah.
And you told me like, are you trying to explain to me the difference between my vulva and my vagina? And that put me in my place.
I was like, are you? And also because I also knew you were Colombian. And I was like, is this motherfucking Colombian explaining my anatomy to me? Yes. He can get fucked. I was so not having it. I was not having it. I was like, you have to earn... You're gonna now have to earn the right for me to respond to you.
not only that, Anna, but going through stand-up comedy to the ropes of stand-up comedy really helped me deal a lot with my anxiety. And dealing with my anxiety helped me open up sexually, and like the quality of lovers that I have now are like a result of all the shitty lovers that I had in the past.
Man, I'm looking forward to the day when I can say that comedy has helped with the quality of my lovers. Like, don't know, but to be honest, it really has. Like, I have no one right now, and that is wonderful.
Dude, you just went through 4 months of abstinence on your own accord, from what I've heard in your podcast, which can be an enlightening experience. Can be something that you take as a way to knowing yourself and know. Yeah, I don't need this shit, which is really important.
Totally. And just the number, like, this year has been so much about me saying no to things that I don't actually want. Me identifying what I want, which is unfortunately often in the negative. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. Thank you, but no. And it's been a year of me. It's funny. Like, I'll talk to the boys, and they'll be like, "Yeah, but you just get some. And it's like, I wanna respect the person I'm fucking, because if I'm not excited about that person, the sex is not going to be good for me. And it's not just because I'm a woman and so I have this like mysterious orgasm process. It's like, no. If I fuck, I want it to be good sex. And just fucking anybody who I don't respect or who it doesn't excite me, it's going to be less than good sex. It's going to be bad sex. I don't want that.
So when I told you that my favorite 2 podcasts were Scott and Moni, is because like the one that I don't count is the one with Kate, because Kate is very illuminating. And you guys touch on that subject when you were talking about like, I'm not gonna go to bed with somebody that I'm like, and these are like purposes, and this is things that you put in your head. This is what you feed to your head, and at some point it becomes just like the law on yourself, or it becomes like a reality. You start attracting different kind of people. Stand-up comedy became that for me. It was a way of like, find out something that you really like, because I think that I was a person that used to rely a lot on my penis doing all the work sexually. And when it came to like, well, should we do something? I would be like latching like a parasite onto the interest of somebody else. And, you know, and
in terms of your sexual interactions,
well,
you would
not
be
only
letting...
that, but afterwards, because I'm pretty good at satisfying people. I concentrate a lot in like, it really turns me on when I'm satisfying somebody. So
men, just any men that are listening, just rewind, listen back to that bit again and again. I think you could really benefit.
But there's another side to that. I have neglected my own satisfaction for a long time, and I have regained that also through stand-up comedy and through all this process that started basically since I moved here to Berlin, or since I started coming here to Berlin. I used to like dabble on sucking cock in Colombia, but it was more like a guilty pleasure. I like men, but I find men with their football and their shit pretty boring sometimes. It's just like, but women are fascinating. I have learned so much from all the straight, trans, all the women that I've dated in my life. I've learned so many things.
It sounds
I'm sorry.
It sounds to me like like you feel about women the way I feel about men. Like you identify as pansexual, right? Like you'll...
Yeah. I don't. Well, I haven't gone through the whole spectrum of what I like, but basically, you can say that I've taken the road of identifying as pansexual, because bisexual just, I don't know. It doesn't include other things, but now thinking about it, trans men are men and trans women are women. So yeah.
But I guess then there's the non-binary. And so does bisexual include non-binary?
Of course. And then there's two spirits, and then there's the Mexican mujer. Oh my God, there's so many. Like, that's the thing. Like, society tries to guide you into a binary way of thinking, which in an extreme can lead you to a depression, because you're either on one side of the spectrum or you're on the other side. But if you're anywhere in the middle, you're going to go like, I don't fit anywhere. And turns out there's so many boxes. Like, there's so many nuances where you can just like fall, or you can just jump around, or
totally.
Do other things.
There's so much more freedom than we just have inherited this awareness of. Like, it's much greater. And if we can play around with it, that's going to give everyone so much more power. But yeah, the binary thinking is so deep, like it goes into everything. But if you can start breaking that, then you're also getting more freedom.
I only came out as non-binary recently, and it was just because I've spent so much time with Maria, and Maria has come out like years before me and has a longer queer experience than me, and that has informed my queer experience and how to translate my whole experience through adulthood as a complete queer life, and not just going like, oh no, I'm living my queer life now. Only that just the acknowledgement of it is like a new birth. So I'm trying to capitalize on that by coming out as many times as possible, just to enjoy a new adolescence. Because when you discover yourself sexually, like, oh my God, it's like achieving new levels on a video game, and then you get like a new life, or getting like a flower in Mario Brothers, or getting like a little star or something. You get like a new rush, and my brain has changed more. And I think that identifying as something and just going like, I don't know, I don't care, just call me whatever, has helped me a lot with that, because I stopped being whatever people want me to be, and I started being more
Who you want to be.
who I want to be.
Yeah, there's power in that. I don't, with non-binary, I don't quite understand specifically, and I guess that's a whole political conversation, but is it really just it's not so much to do with biological, like physical alignment, it's more to do with an ideology of like...
Gender is a social construct.
Yeah, but like in terms of if someone's non-binary, that means that they don't want to be considered as female or male.
Correct.
And but doesn't necessarily have anything to do with your
sexual orientation or your physiology.
Well, yeah. So sexuality is a separate thing, but like actually, you could be, you could have a penis and balls and be non-binary.
Be more into the femme spectrum or be more into the masculine spectrum. There's
it's more of a political stance, right? To say that gender isn't important.
Not only that, but it has helped me psychologically a lot, because I was one of these individuals that thought like, well, if it's not this, then it should be this. And now every time that I think about that, I go like, that's binary thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's got to be something else. There's got to be a third way or a fourth way or a fifth way.
Always question your assumptions, and there's always more options than you think.
And I mean, I'm not like, I'm non-binary and it's because I wear women's clothes, or no, I'm non-binary because I resist to be put in anything that leads me towards a dead end.
Yeah.
Leads me towards like, that's it, this is what you are. And the danger in the queer spectrum is that if I identify as something, what I find is that it might lead to a dead end. It might encapsulate me as, this is what you are.
It cuts off options. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dated someone that you know as well. I dated someone who's...
I'm happy to hear that they are the she now.
She's a she now, yeah. So, she's been transitioning. But the process of so when we met, she was a he, and I actually preferred using they as a pronoun for her. We're dealing with time and gender.
Oh my God! But see, I understand why some people might be feel that this is something obnoxious, because it's try and error, and it's like, for me it became fun, because I thought that this is nothing that I'm used to, using these pronouns and being mindful about people's pronouns.
Yeah.
It happened to me with Alex as well.
Yeah,
I misgendered her many times.
Totally. And me too. Also because Alex has a male stage character. And so that makes it hard because this is a
Hi Alex.
Hi Alex. This is a trans friend, and she's a she, but she has also a male stage character called Steve, and so through, I think the main thing with the people thinking that it's obnoxious changing your pronoun. I think they're just scared of making a mistake and being told they're doing something wrong. It's like, it's okay if you make mistakes. Just the intention just needs to be that you're trying and that you don't disregard it. It's like, if they say, hey, I'm a they, or hey, I'm a she, then, and maybe they need to remind you, but just don't intentionally disregard that. Like that's the only thing. Until
recently, I understood all those quotes that spoke about, if you misgender somebody, apologize and move on. Don't stay there. Don't turn it into your issue.
Yeah, it's good.
Recently I understood that, because what you do is like, oh no, let's talk about me. Why do I have to it's like, all right, we get it. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But it's a process. Times are changing. The only constant in nature is change.
And the only constant in anything is change. But what does piss me off, what did piss me off when I was dating this she now, I don't know if she's using a different name. I don't think she is. But anyway, let's just call her S. Okay, S. When I was dating S, I found it super, super liberating to be with someone so feminine. So I was really able, there's lots of parts of my character that are very masculine, and I really felt myself freeing up to be all those parts. Like I've grown up with my mum who, there's nothing malicious in her, but she would often, like, I naturally sit with my legs very far apart. And she spent all of my childhood trying to get me to sit with my legs closed. And it was like, what? And there's lots of parts of me that are very, like, a lot of people will be like, oh, Anna, you're not masculine or you're not like a tomboy at all. But there's parts of me that are very, very much like that. And even at my kindergarten, I have kids not mistakenly calling me mama. They call me papa, which is interesting. My vibe can be very masculine. And I, with S, I was able to really fill in these like, feel like I could put my feet into those pants and really like do them up and feel proud that that's just me, and own it, and not feel like I'm not fitting people's expectations of what me as a woman should be. But on the flip side, I did get annoyed. I for example, it's not obnoxious this day, whatever, but S did tell me off, for example, at times when I'd be like, oh, come on, dude. Oh, come on, man. But I say that to everybody, regardless of, whatever gender, whatever they want to be, they identify as. And it's like, don't, like, if you're going to be that precious, then it becomes just uncomfortable for everybody because they're scared that they're going to offend you. And there's so many things that are not malicious or intentional like that. But I want to get back to
let's go.
I want to get back to the topic of open relationships. Open relationships require so much more. It's not just going out and fucking around and breaking everybody. Like, it requires so many guidelines. So with my ex-husband, the guidelines when he suggested we have an open relationship, the guidelines that we worked out were very... Like, you have to really work out your fucking guidelines. The irony for me is that I went from Melbourne, where I had this open relationship, moved to Berlin, was like, I want, basically like what you've got, I want like a nesting partner, but I will never have, and these were like the words that I'm sure my mum wrote down and like, put somewhere to remind me of my foible, like that I've transgressed, and like I'm not doing what I said I would do. But, I wanted to only ever have non-monogamous relationships in the future where it's talked about, but where we could build, trust and understanding based on the guidelines, based on excellent communication and a sense, and always have that sense of freedom, but like sexual experimentation and blah, 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 blah. But then I moved to Berlin, and all the people that I managed to find, except for my best friend, who's in an open relationship, and we've kind of... I've been a third party in that relationship at times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But everyone else has been very conservative. And I realized, wow, there are so many people in Berlin that are actually, like, there is this subculture of open relationship, experimental, non-monogamy. But there's the majority of people that move here are actually like quite conservative, and they haven't had that education. And it's only a small little minority. So the guidelines of my open relationship were, we will only fuck people together in the same room, and we would not go off and find and have other relationships, because I was like, that for me, when I'm spending time building a loving relationship elsewhere, that means that time is getting taken away from my primary relationship, and so this whole love anarchy, it's like, whoa, like I feel like that would be
it actually decentralizes love and takes the capitalist approach of love as a non-renewable source. This is not my words. This is words from a study in Sweden, which I really like.
Love as a non-renewable resource is what monogamy does.
It's what capitalism does with monogamous relationships.
Okay,
it's like you can only be this kind of person with your partner. And then open relationships take it like that. Take it like, okay, you're allowed to go and put your finger in the cake, taste it, but you're not allowed to take more than one bite of the cake. And you're not allowed to fall in love with somebody else.
Yeah, all these rules, right?
Like this. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. I'm a human being, and I am propense to like have a connection between my genitals and my emotions. And if somebody like shakes my emotions through my genitals in some way that I'm like confused, I'm like, I want to keep exploring this. Or if I have moments with this person that are like spiritual or energetically connected with somebody else, does that mean that I have to turn my feelings away from that and not experiment
in order
that?
to protect my primary whatever?
Yes.
Like I have to. I'm closing all these doors or creating all of these like secret codes for all these doors, or like if I go a certain way, it's like poof, that blows up my primary relationship. Like there's just certain things that you can't do. So my time with my ex-husband, he wasn't particularly like the reason why I left him was because talking to him about emotional matters was always very problematic. He had like a very strong communication technique built in of attacking, then becoming violent. As one of my jokes goes, like he never hit me because his aim was so bad. He would just throw things. But he couldn't take any feedback. You know, he couldn't take any feedback. And he would also be very, very like psychologically abusive, like really, you know, call me stupid, call me, you know, like hardcore name calling, very aggressive. Anyway, so obviously
don't just go anyway. That's you're making progress there. Like just the acknowledgement that happened gives you the power to go like, this is something that I live. I'm sorry that I interrupted you, but cool. No, it's there's power in that.
I was really broken when I left him. I ended up like running away. Like a family friend met me. She'd just left her husband and did this sort of running away situation. We met up whilst I was having really hard times in my marriage and towards the end, and she gave me a key to her house. Because my parents had left Australia at that point. They were living, they'd moved to London about a year before that. And my brother lived sort of out in the suburbs. So she gave me a key to her house and said, if you just need to escape, you always can come to my house. And like a week later, I left him.
At least you can make jokes about it. I haven't been able to write a joke about my failed marriage. Here's the thing. And this is something that... defining myself as non-binary, being in Berlin and stand-up comedy has done for me has made me realize that being broken it ain't that bad. Like when you're broken, there's a cliche that says that when you're broken, that's when the light can come through the
totally
crack.
shatter my heart to create space for limitless love.
And then you've been to Japan. Do you know that culture where they repair like porcelain with gold? So you know, like broken porcelain.
Didn't know it was Japanese, but
so you know that broken porcelain gets repaired with gold, so you see where the
breaks.
Yes, and it's not like, oh, I'm fine, I'm perfect. You don't have to present yourself like that. You've gone through things. It has processed you, and it has made you the person that you are today.
Oh yeah, thank fuck for my asshole ex-husband.
There you go.
No, and like I knew as I was stepping into all of it that like this wasn't gonna be easy, but I was like I needed to do all of that, and I needed to suffer as I suffered, and also, you know, create pain for him as well, and all of those things, and then. And as I was broke, like the period that I was broken was, you know, I moved straight to Berlin. Like I left him, went traveling to figure out where I was going to move to. And then within 5 months, I moved to Berlin. The week before I left Melbourne, we got back together. I wanted to see him. And then we had these like 4 days where we were like, we're getting back together. And then he's driving me to the airport. And as he's driving me to the airport, he says, so like you can like case out venues and stuff. Like you could be like my band manager, and you could, you know, figure out where we could play. I can bring the band over. And I was like, dude, I'm going to Berlin to find myself, to find my creative
not to be your bridge
source, not to be your fucking band manager. You're making it all about you again.
Yeah. So but, your ex-husband, that was me.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Well, totally. You're saying these things, and I'm like, oh my God. And what made me realize that was just female friends or friends that identify as female, heterosexuals who had this like mission of saving lost souls, and seeing myself as a lost soul, or as somebody who actually just like latch onto somebody else and just like
Yeah, man.
suck their energy.
Yeah.
And put myself as a victim as well.
Totally.
Like, oh no, why am I dating all these crazy people? Until the point when you realize like, oh no, you are the crazy.
Yeah.
You are the one with the problems.
Yeah, and you're needing to, like, everyone around you, you're just like creating the room of mirrors so you can just see yourself. And
it was just like, I felt like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Yeah, right.
And it was a point of break, and it was a moment where I was like, I need to be kinder with other people. If I'm gonna be like building this image like, oh, sex is the only way to advance or be evolutionate in this plane, and I'm gonna have to be respectful with the people that I have sex with.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to like honor that, and I'm gonna have to.
Oh my God.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And this is something that you, as a woman, as an identified woman, probably have gone through your whole life. Like a lot of men with mommy issues.
Oh,
and with,
so many. There's been some really good guys in my life, but a lot of men who have, just sort of, seen what they like. Well, I think a lot of people do this. They see what they like in someone, and then they just try to make the rest of it match what they like in that person, and deny the rest of who that person is. So what are the rules that you like? What are the basic like core rules? Boom, boom, boom of your ethical non-monogamy with Maria and with Amanda.
Basically, it's don't be a dick. Talk about your emotions. Tell me where
they know about each other.
Going. Yeah, they've met,
and each of them has other stable partners, or what?
Amanda does. Maria is navigating poly in a different way. She has partners from the past, and we have our polycule.
Is there because my best friend and her boyfriend, they're both totally cis and straight. Well, my best friend and I have had sex for sure, but I have this joke about identifying as queer, but I'm really just queer if I'm also fucking your boyfriend. Like, I'll eat your pussy, but like, it's not why I'm here.
You tend to like male-bodied individuals, people with penises.
I am super like, it is men. Like, I'm like, when I walk on the street, I'm a predator for men, like a predator of men. I am predator of men. Anyway, it's men that I am just immediately. Women, it's a very rare woman that I will actually turn my head for.
Will you date a trans man?
So long as there's a penis. And so long as there's a
you know the clitoris is a penis as well, right?
Pardon? It's not one that penetrates me.
Right, so it's all about
It's all about me getting filled, okay?
Good.
I need my holes filled,
It's
Carl.
about filling those holes.
Fill my holes, Carl. No.
It's great that we're going back to the holes. Yeah.
But yeah, I need a penis. I absolutely need a penis. And so with S,
what about a trans woman with a penis?
Fuck yeah. But the thing is, a trans woman with a penis needs to, for me, the problem with women, and this is going to sound terrible, but the problem for me with women is women don't intimidate me. And for me to be sexually excited, I need to feel and intimidated. Like, this is a new thing that I've started putting into words. But like this idea of like, ooh, like, like there's this intimidation. There's this like chemical difference, and there's this like boundaries, bubbles hitting between us, and that usually happens from quite a masculine. That said, a lot of my exes have been quite feminine, like have very strong feminine elements to them, but they're still men.
Yeah,
men. And S, when S was a he, I was really attracted, and I've met S since they are a she, and I am less attracted. Like, when she doesn't have facial hair, when there's more of a softness to her, I'm like, my vagina's kind of retracting. Right. Like, it's not tingling in any positive way. And so yeah, I'm very attracted to someone that's like fucking manly. Yeah, like I want the dick, like that vibe. But you know,
I'm into dick as well, but I'm not into people that are dicks.
You know, I don't want. Yeah,
does
totally.
that make sense?
Totally.
Because I'm very careful of. I'm opening myself up to anal penetration again. Like basically, if it's like a cis dude.
Does Maria peg you?
Yeah.
I love how you say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love you, Maria.
Love you, Maria.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while, but we did took advantage of Black Friday, and we bought for 30 euros like a whole box full of butt plugs and tails, and for them and for me.
Yeah.
But Maria it's very kind. I need that because
She's very kind.
Yeah. I need that because I have a lot of trauma. I'm a survivor of rape as a child. I was abused as a child. Fuck. So yeah, no, don't worry. I can talk about that. But that's why my relationship with men is so complicated. Like I'm attracted to men, but as soon as they start acting like duty and it's like, hold on, no, no go. I'll give you a blowjob and you'll be on your way, or just fuck off, go jerk off somewhere else. I need that femininity. I need that fluidity with people, and it has been. I've been looking for a guy to penetrate me, but I can't find the right guy. And
so so when you see men on the street, like they take your attention almost as much as women, or
no, women take more
more.
All right, let's differentiate. I mean, when I say women, I mean trans women. But if we're talking about
guys, sorry, I'm
AFAB. The term is AFAB, which is assigned female at birth.
Yeah,
so somebody with a vagina.
Yeah,
somebody with a penis.
Well, let's just say someone who's identifying as a woman, no matter like.
I like that. I like women,
and that's what you're
like
a bit more drawn to, but men as well.
Yes, I haven't found a trans woman that topped me, or I haven't dated a trans woman in a while. I think because I keep referring to them as trans women, and I should refer to them more as women. And they feel sometimes like fetishized, and it's like.
I'd be so down. Like, did you see the Peaches Rub film clip where I don't know who the porn star is. She's a famous. They're a famous porn star. I don't know how they identify. But it's a porn star that has breasts and a penis and very feminine, but like so I'll go they.
It's usually she. I don't assume, and I'd rather ask.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Let's say she for this.
Let's say she. Famous. She. Okay, she.
Famous porn
star. Yeah, and I was like, wow. That's definitely. I talked about this a little bit with Julieta. Bucket list. I asked her, but I think that's kind of on my bucket list. I would like to be with a woman with a penis.
Oh yeah. That's.
It's just putting that out there to the world.
It's such a great sexuality, because you have to take care of it as if it was. You have to take care of a woman with differing anatomy. That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
And it's such a great sexuality. Like my experience has been, oh my God, it's so gentle. It's really like heartfelt. You feel connected with the person because. You have to talk. You have to like measure. You have to ask. I mean,
you're saying sex with people
trans
identifying
people,
as trans
people, and in general.
To be honest, you're putting me off it a lot right now. Like right now, this whole like being soft and gentle for me with sex, it's like those are the last. Like if I'm in a dynamic. I want me to be the softest and gentlest thing there, and I'm not particularly soft and gentle.
Well, that's the thing, and that's the other part that I really like about my.
I'm not rough and aggressive, but it's like I'm not. It turns me off so fast if I'm the one that's having to take all of the steps. If I'm the one that has to suggest a new position. If I'm the one that has to be like you know, like fucking
Anna, but you don't want
Bring
the
game.
same thing all the time. You want different things sometimes, and sometimes you feel like, no, is that not? Or
I
do
don't
you have like a
know.
cookie cutter kind of sexuality? Like, this is what works for me. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
It's
boom.
becoming a bit clearer that I do what I really like. I've realized it's becoming clearer within sort of a dynamic. There can be role play, there can be other things that happen, but I think the base layer of the sexual chemistry and dynamic that I like in bed is really you know, like, I'm not this little princess, but I need someone who's
Well, this is where BDSM comes for me. For instance, this is
good. Let's talk about BDSM. Yeah.
yes. So
BDSM
my
stands for what again? The sadomasochism, but BD stands for
wait, it's sadomasochism, bondage,
bondage.
BDSM. It's bondage, dominance, sadomasochism.
Yeah, bondage, dominant.
So
Dominance,
bondage,
yeah, bondage,
dominance.
Yeah.
It's well, it's not just dominance, but it's also being submissive. It's
Yeah.
two.
So it's kind
two
of
sides
like
of the
disc
same
theory.
coin.
Disc theory. Have you seen Wonder Woman and Marston and the Wonder Woman? It's about the guy who wrote Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
how
wrote
Wonder Woman was always like tied up.
all
and
about
stuff,
BDSM.
Like,
All and
yeah.
this idea, this disc theory was the basis of Wonder Woman, but also BDSM, which is it's dominance. Fuck, I forget. ISC, submission, coercion, and there's another one. Anyway, so BDSM is bondage, dominance.
I think it's sadomasochism, or it's also submissive in masochism.
Yeah.
But basically, what I found there is a way of treating my trauma-induced sexuality and recuperate it and bring it back to myself, and not like, what do you want me to be, which was my position sexually.
Yeah.
And mainly it was like, well, you are a guy with a big cock, fuck the shit out of me, which is something that I enjoyed many times, filling those holes.
Yeah.
But then it was like empty, and I was like, well, who's gonna fill my holes? And
You filled them really well. That's why you were empty.
Yes, thank you. No, and the other part is that I had a weird relationship with my penis as well. I was recently circumcised, so
I seem to meet. There's so many men in my atmosphere that have been relatively recently circumcised and that have issues with their penises. It's interesting.
no, mine was that I couldn't achieve orgasm by penetration. It happened a few times, but it still
So you
doesn't
had to
happen.
rub it out at the end.
I have to rub it out on
Yeah.
my own. Like I feel more comfortable just rubbing one out to achieve an orgasm, and when I'm having sex, I'm just about, tickling somebody from inside of.
And it feels good, but it's not getting you to the point where
this year was the year where I discovered my dominant side, because I was with a partner that actually requires that, and I feel the role perfectly because I came from that experience. And the fact of the matter is that I usually feel powerless outside in the world because the universe is chaos and I need order, divorce, family and stuff. So these scenarios that BDSM allows me to have in play gives me the sense of power as a dom, and I'm in a dynamic with somebody who's okay with that. So I'm not like, I'm a dom and I'm gonna have sex with you and I'm gonna just grab you without your consent or something. No,
it's actually come from her, and so it's more like you've developed this in conjunction with someone's desire, and so it's not like it's a totally different dynamic.
So because I'm a sub, because I'm aimed to please, I am good at getting those directions or getting that screenplay.
Yeah.
And just like, actually, thanks to this new relationship, I wrote my sex menu because because she actually had her sex menu and she was like, well, this is my sex menu. Read it and just tell me what fits. And I read it and I was like, oh my God, I'd like to try all of this. well, what's your sex menu? And that prompted me to write my sex menu and just to discover like, wow, I like this. And I
So
like
your
this.
sex menu are the things that people can order from you,
The
or that
sex
you
menu
want
is
to.
the things that I want to try, the things that I have tried,
it's-
the things that turn me on, the things that my boundaries, the things that I would not like to do.
Okay.
You know, so it's like a
It's more like a sex
screenplay.
manual almost. It's like sex, like it's an instruction manual, like
Yeah,
things
it's
that the buttons that you can push, don't treat it like this maintenance kind of stuff.
And what that allows you is to have
Less
like
sexy. Menu sounds a little bit sexier than manual, but yeah.
and what that allows you is to jump into play with a foretold story.
Yeah.
And then once you want to try something, you can have that conversation instead of being in a dynamic of like, yeah, can you do it more like this? Can you do it more like this? Can you please? And say, which at some point can be like, all right, let's stop and let's talk about this on the dry, and then
On the dry.
and then jump back into it because I'm getting out of it. Because look, it's the same as when you.
No, but it's really great because I think the sex menu is a great concept because it means that you're not just poking in the dark. You can then be like, hey, do you want to try that thing that I already know you're interested in? Hey, do you want to try this? Hey, I know that you're interested in that. So like, do you want to do that? Yeah, it changes everything.
Do you wanna have like a variation on this subject? It's like,
Exactly.
oh my God, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, can we add carrots to that dish, or can we do that one without cream?
Exactly. It's like giving a blowjob to a dude that keeps telling you like, yeah, do it like this, or less teeth, or less. Dude, make up your mind. Tell me before, and then I'll blow you, and then I can try things.
But I feel like those specific things, like how you eat someone, or how you suck someone, or lick someone, I feel like those things you couldn't necessarily put in a menu or a manual. Those are things that really are like. Those are things that are the sort of more directions. That's like the recipe, right? Whereas like,
but you talk about it before you do it. For instance, this is what I like about vaginas and vulvas, about the whole thing, that there is an anatomy. There are points that you can touch, but there are nuances because not every vagina is the same.
Yeah.
So
it's like not every penis is the same, man. Like numbers. I'm at the point where I get a penis and I'm like, look, I can just go at it, but do you want to like tell me some stuff? Because like I don't want to, like, it's so much worse if I just start doing something like, not like that.
But wouldn't it
it's
be...
like, oh, okay, like run me down. Give me just give me a couple of facts here, like a couple of instructions, because I'm experienced enough to know that I don't know your penis.
Exactly, but you know a penis. You've seen a penis, but not your penis.
I can go for the middle path here. I can go for what I'm pretty sure is gonna keep you hard whilst you're in my mouth.
You just go like, do you like this? Is this okay?
Like more of that. More of my throat. Like, do you want it deeper?
Oh, you want it deeper? Okay.
You want it deeper?
Yeah,
is it wet enough?
Yeah. Well, I have like a gag reflex. I can do that. But there's a conversation. It's a sexy conversation. It's like, yeah, you like it when I touch this? You like when I do this?
But also, a lot of guys are not that comfortable. As soon as you start talking, they're a bit like, oh, they clam up as well. And I feel like the next time I fuck, I'm gonna be like, I want to start that dialogue because it's going to be someone that I fucking respect, and it's going to be someone that I'm excited about. So it's going to be like, all right, so let's I'm going to start here, do a play, keep it playful and sexy, but like be asking those things.
You know how hard consent talk before sex is. Well, really, I like to eat pussy like this. I like to play. No.
This is the foreplay, man. That's great fucking foreplay.
You know what I mean? And
Get
it's
your
consent as well. And you're having a consent talk that is at the same time foreplay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like Juliet and I talking about our like, what was it? Our pussy. No, I forget it. Our YouTube tutorial basically of how our vagina works. But
oh my God, that's genius. Yeah, I remember that.
This private listing. Look, if we're going to fuck, I'm going to send you my manual. And then it's like me showing.
Yeah, instead of a sex menu, just like hi, you've reached the YouTube tutorial to my vagina.
You are one small step away from getting to fuck this. So let's just quickly run through how it works.
That would be like a video thing with a password and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh my God. Have you seen that Isabella Rossellini green porn collection of videos? Oh, you have to see it.
Isabella Rossellini
has green porn. She does these things with puppets and like soon vaginas, and she explains the whole anatomy.
Oh,
and
that's
how
I think what
sexuality
Julieta was
works.
referencing, talking about
Yeah, yeah,
puppets,
yeah.
and I was like, no. Men are gonna get confused by that.
Yes, it has to be something with trucks or football. Or
No, you just need to be very, very direct. You know, camera, it's like, hey, boys, not boys, hey, next sexual partner, and then camera down to my vagina, and then pulling it apart and showing them where to go.
Right here.
And maybe like some motions, and maybe like get a tomato and show like how much pressure do I want on my clit, and things like that.
Because what they don't explain to you when they talk about the Kama Sutra and all these books about how to make somebody squirt or how to, is that not everybody's a squirter, and everybody can squirt, but on their own terms. And your inability to make somebody squirt doesn't mean that you're a less or better or worse lover. It just means that this person needs something different. They probably needs
Is
different
squirting
pressure.
the end game?
No. But just to put like a
like an
example, like something that men have.
Because I've never squirted.
Because I've heard a lot of guys coming to friends of mine and go like, you know what, it's gonna be so good. I'm gonna make you squirt. It's like, dude. First of all,
I don't want to have to clean that up, man. Like, it's a lot of extra fluid.
Do you even have enough sheets in your house or even towels to put on your bed? If you're
Are you ready for this tsunami? I don't think so. You don't want to make me squirt.
Do you? No, but you know, that kind of feels like I'm going to make you come, or the did you come conversations. Like if you are not paying attention during sex and you don't know, don't ask during sex after you do, like, did you come? It's like, no, I mean, it just...
Well, I like when I'm in relationships, I'll ask if I'm not sure, like if I'm not sure, like I had a partner and we would fuck, and he had great, what's the word? Endurance. And we would fuck and I would come, and then I'd be like, did you come? And he'd be like, nah, just give me like, can you like, can we go again in like 5? And I'd be like, we can give me 5. And then we'd keep going. But I wouldn't, because when I would come, I wouldn't be sure if he was also, I don't know. Like sometimes guys come real quick, and it's not like,
it's just because just because of my inability that I,
that's a trigger for you. It's like, fuck, do I have to come for you to be happy?
That's one of the first thing that I talk about. It's like, do you have a semen fetish, or do you need to see semen in order to feel satisfied? And if the answer is yes, I go like, well, I might not be able to perform up to your expectations. But if you want to get railed, or if you want to play around, or you want to this, and if you want to come, then I'm your person. But if you want to see semen, if you're like, all right, I come, now it's your turn, then I'm not here for that. And this is the great thing about finding other lovers that resonate with me, or people that are actually gentle in that manner. Like, no, we don't need to. Other kinds of sexuality, other kinds of approaching sexuality, because not everybody is on the end game of coming. People have also traumas, and they might approach things like, stop, this is triggering me, or this is thing. And that's another way of approaching it. And then it might be like, ram me now, or rail me, but my end game has never been like, oh, I have to like come, or... that's why I'm more playful when I'm penetrating. I'm just like this and that, and it's like not a regular rhythm of like, which can be boring. But it's not like I have never come. There are moments when it's like, oh my God, it's out of my control, and it's a thing about control. If I am willing to give control to somebody else, but since what I told you, divorced parents having a sense of control, I have the control, and it has been like my challenge or my thing to actually relinquish control to somebody else.
Yeah.
To give more of myself. And I have had such understanding partners that are not like, man, I'm really sad that you're not able to come with me. And it's like, no. And I have taken approaches to that. Like I have like, all right, I realized that my foreskin was too tight and I wasn't getting the proper stimulation in the point. So
that's why you had a later in life circumcision.
Yes. And then it turned out like, oh, actually, yes, it's more sensible, but at the same time, I really enjoy my sexuality the way it was.
Yeah.
Like I'm a daddy in that moment when I'm like a dom.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not about me coming. It's about me punishing you with pleasure. What do you like?
It's
you
about
like
me
to be
punishing you with pleasure.
Like that's my dom side. My subby side is like use me, call me a little bitch.
It's interesting. Yeah, there's some interesting dichotomies. Although we don't want to be binary. Like it's bigger than that. There's some grays and some other elements to it.
Oh yeah.
But you mentioned this thing of like you feel quite powerless in your day-to-day life, and so taking on that dom role. It's like I've realized recently, like that's exactly why I am actually quite submissive, and realizing that I'm quite submissive. Like with my ex-husband, I would he'd be like, I want you to dominate. I want you to like see these like 5 girls. Like I want you to 5 girls. Maybe we had like 4. I am quite a dominant person in general, and so in a sexual situation, I can like. I can manage people. I can get people to do, You
need somebody to boss you around as well.
But like, yeah, exactly. So when it actually comes to what I want in a sexual dynamic, I've realized only this year that, holy shit, that's what I want. And that's often why I think I've been attracted to, for a while, these strong seeming characters and a lot of fucking Latinos. That strength is often not strength. It's often like masquerading. They're pretending to be strong when really they're like narcissistic, weak pieces of shit. But not all of them. But
No, but yeah.
But
yeah.
but realizing that I've been attracted to that model of a person because of my desire for that dominance. And so with my ex-husband, for example, in our open relationship, I had no interest in organizing the sexual experiences that we'd have. He could do all the admin. I wanted to have nothing to do with it. And in a similar way, when we're actually in the foursome or fivesome, whatever settings, like whatever group sex settings, it was often like, I could go with the flow, whatever, but it was like, I'm here to fuck, but I'm not gonna have I'm not gonna
have an organizational role in this.
No, exactly. And like I can sort of do that, but when it comes to
I can bring chips, I can bring water, but
I can be flexible. I can get my leg over my head and I can like get that dick in my mouth. And I can do that if you want. No, the leg over my head, not really. But I can be that person, but I'm not gonna be the one to get it to that point of happening. And like I want someone else to be being like, hey, like do this, hey, like and I'll be like, okay, cool, and then like I can be there. But I definitely realized, and I always thought I wasn't, I'm actually quite submissive.
What this relationship has allowed me, where somebody has told me you have to assume a dom position, is to assert myself as somebody who's knowledgeable on sex matters, who knows what's better for somebody else, who's kind enough to be a dom. Yeah. Because being a dom is not just like bossing somebody around. And
that's the thing. Kind enough to be a dom. Like now that I've realized that I need a dom, it's very hard to find.
After a session with a dom, you need aftercare. The dom and the sub. Because imagine if you like to be spanked or tied up or something. That takes a lot of energy. And you can just have somebody like a friend of mine had that tells you, I'm a dom and I'm into roping. And they take you home and they have nylon ropes to tie you up, which might like break your...
No, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then being finished with you and just throwing you on the bed and leaving you there without you having build that scenario.
Yeah, no. Like that's like
even if you build that scenario where you tell the person, leave me lying down, cover on cum, you have to check up with your person, do the aftercare, which is work as well.
Yeah. No, honestly, what you've just described is absolutely not what I want. And the thing is, I'm so dominant. I'm such a like I'm not so fucking dominant. Like I'm a empathetic, considered person. in my normal life.
Yeah, well,
But
let me ask you something. Are there pancakes after you were dominant with somebody?
are there pancakes? Were there pancakes? Are there pancakes?
Well, what I mean
Oh,
with
as in,
are there
will I have
pancakes?
breakfast?
Yeah,
Breakfast.
would you like cook for somebody else after you treat them like, yeah, just my little bitch, and you're like this?
Yeah, the thing is, I don't want that. Like when I talk about, I don't want that at all. When I talk about wanting someone dominant, it's like I am like as a personality, I am very like I realize I'm big and I'll push and I need someone to push me back. But when it comes to actually in the bedroom, I don't want them to treat me like me wanting a dom is not I want to be used. I want to feel like I've been used or that I want to feel small in any way. No, but I want someone to take control or show initiative or, I want that, but I'm not interested in in this gross submission like that. Yes. I'm not interested in.
Yeah. Well,
so it's a mild submissive element in me,
I know
but enough for me to be frustrated by a lot of my sexual experiences.
So yeah, for me, the discovery that I made is about spanking, for instance, that I enjoy.
Spanking's great.
I enjoy spanking people and
like giving and receiving. I find both extremely hot.
Both, and it's the way that I've been practicing it. What I learned this year was that a spanking is very therapeutic if you do it right.
Yeah, you got to spank right. Like there's you really got to know how to spank.
It depends if somebody wants to be punished or if they just want to be like beaten. And
Jesus,
therapeutic beatings are a thing.
Yeah,
like you can actually like release stress. And what most people
it's like an intense acupuncture.
What I didn't know is that I held so much stress on my butt until Maria started massaging my legs, and I realized that I had so much stress on my left leg, on my what's this called again? On my calf, and then on my ass as well, and then getting spanked. But the way that I learned to get spanked and having.
So I'm just like I am so looking forward to when I can have sex with someone I like. Oh my god! I had such a frustrated moment yesterday. I was just like, fuck! It's been so long since I've
by the way,
sex with someone that's a good idea for me.
Congratulations on your year of sobriety.
Thank you. Yeah, tomorrow it's a year.
Yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow a year, and then you have like a new perspective on yourself. You have like a new. Set of clean rooms in your life.
Yes,
you can start
my body is a house, and I've realized that metaphor is so like the psyche's a house, right? That's the house is the metaphor for the psyche, right? But my body, it's like now my body, I keep it very clean. I'll sometimes have a party, and from next year I will sometimes have a party, but it's like I'm not going to be drinking every night at home. I'm not going to drink it. Like I'm not going to drink anymore. That's something that I've decided, or smoke weed. But but it's also like I am careful who I invite into my house. I think lockdown has shown that as well. It's like you're more careful with who you have come to your home. Being sober for a year, people are like, oh wow, but it's like, yeah, and I never thought I had a problem with alcohol or weed. Like I managed those things really well. I could do everything I wanted to. I never lost a job. I never lost an opportunity that I'm aware of.
Right.
I had lots of relationships. Everything was, but you don't realize how much of a mechanism it is for you to change your perspective so that you can deal with your emotions. So you can distract yourself a little bit. You don't realize that it's a distraction. You think you're just like sort of shaking up your perspective and you're changing your body. Whenever you're changing the makeup of your body, you're able to shake up your perspective. Is it the worst thing ever? No, but to be dependent on that, and you don't admit it, like I wasn't admitting it. But anyway, not having those things that shake up my perspective, man, I cleaned my house this year. I wouldn't, I haven't finished all of my personal therapy with myself, but I have looked at my history in relationships, at my pain, being alone. And I've been single for most of this year. And this is the longest I've been single since I moved to Berlin, and not having anybody that loves you, and not having any of those old, habits of a cigarette or a joint or a drink. and like the hard drugs are something that I left a long time ago, but just not having any of those things, holy shit, like, you know, I've been questioning the need of relationship, of love, of like, of these expectations in my mind. And in terms of, going back to the monogamy thing, like I settled on this idea since I've been in Berlin that just for the ease of it, I'm not close to anything. Like I'm so like not close to anything in my future, but really my perspective, my outlook now is that the next relationship that I have will be one where I can have a baby eventually. And I'm not in any position right now, and I want to make a break in comedy before I do that. That's to say that I want to be making some regular money somehow. That's not like open mic, that I'm like being booked for. Like comedy is a proper source of income, and I've broken through that next level with comedy. And then it's only after that I will consider, getting pregnant. But it's like finding someone that's a decent father. That's always been the issue. Yeah. But so my next relationship, in my head is someone that I would have a child with, and that I would probably be monogamous with. That I would be, the starting assumption would be monogamy, simply because it's easier.
Well, Maria and I are having a baby, as you know.
Yeah.
And we're approaching it from the poly, non-binary perspective. I am a person ridden with PTSD, and I had problems with alcohol in my past. I abuse weed as well. Now I have a relationship with drugs that shows me that I have that in my box and I can use it. But I'm working towards, because my theory is that every time that I take psychedelics, there's a new character that arises called Jeffrey. And Jeffrey is a kind individual, and Jeffrey is the life of the party. And Jeffrey is gentle, and it's courteous, and it's very open, and there's no like neurosis with Jeffrey. But Karl is a very neurotic individual. So what I want to bring to this, because let's face it, no matter how much I tell myself and how many books I read, I'm never going to be ready to be a parent. And the challenge is going to be being a parent outside of the standards of family that there is.
Very interesting.
And this is what I found in Maria. Maria had that wish as well. They were going to buy sperm or something. They were going to get, they were set on having a child. I was set on having a child. We came together and we talked about this, and we met each other, and we realized this is somebody that I realized this is somebody I want to spend the rest of my life with, no matter if it's as a friend or something. Because when you have children with somebody else, you are going to be connected
with them forever.
Forever.
That's exactly right. That's it. And this is why I am so glad that I have never been even pregnant, because none of the people are people that I think should be parents.
Imagine talking about kindergarten things with somebody you cannot get an agreement with.
Just usually that person is already someone that you think, the way they're like, okay, all my exes could be good fathers, right? But how they dealt with me, to me, reflected that they might not be able to prioritize a child the way that I want a father to be able to prioritize a child. Like I want, and this idea of, I've been thinking more, we should talk less about having children and more about reproducing, because it's not about having a child. It's reproducing your genes and most likely your trauma. And how are you going to make that better? I'm going to have a baby. No, you're reproducing you and that guy. Is that a good idea? Like reproducing that?
Do you know that genetic material regenerates every 7 years? And your genetic material now is a product of who you are in this, is a photograph of who you are in this moment. I'm so glad that I'm having children at age 40 and not when I was 20. Right. The kind of person that I was when I was 20 is not the person that I am today. Same for Maria. And I'm glad that I'm mixing my genetic information with this beautiful being that is like, we have our issues. We have our troubles, but we talk. We have talks. Sometimes they're not nice, but we talk.
Yeah.
And then we achieve consensus. And as hard as it is for me sometimes to achieve consensus, and as hard-headed as I am with Maria sometimes, hi Maria, I love them because Maria is the person that is able to call me on my bullshit as well.
Yeah.
Because they go, hey, you're saying that you want to be this, but the truth is that you react like this to this.
Yeah,
things.
yeah. And that's what you want for a parent, a co-parent. You want someone who's going to call you on your bullshit, and you want to be able to do the same for them, and you want it to be this empathetic, caring, we talk through stuff till it's resolved. That's what you need. If you're going to parent another human to, fuck.
No, not only that, but at the same time, it's somebody who you can get to an agreement in front of the child, so the child sees some kind of unity.
And a respect.
And if you don't agree with it, you talk about it on behind closed doors or somewhere else. And not somebody who's going to go no. That thing that mommy or that papi just say, that's bullshit.
No.
Which is confusing for a child.
Yeah.
We're going to have a trilingual household.
Yeah.
And that's going to bring a lot of advantages to the child.
Yeah. Spanish, English, and German. That's great.
So that's going to be something that my child is going to profit from. And I'm actually, that fills me with a little bit of,
that's wonderful. It's going to be more than okay.
Oh, yes. Thank you for telling me that.
It's going to be fucking wonderful. I'm so excited about your child coming into the world.
I am excited as
when
well. May.
When are they due? May.
May the 4th.
Yes! May the 4th be with us. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap this bad boy up. Bad non-binary up. Do you have anything you would like to plug?
I'm gonna be lying on my couch and eating a lot of bone broth. If you guys feel like having some bone broth, hit me up on Instagram. At Karl Medi. It's like comedy, but with Karl.
I love it.
Hit me up if you need some broth, or if you want to talk about recipes, or if you want to have some advice on how to better spank your partner. Or how to
I have actually YouTubed how to spank properly, and I was like, I knew all of that. Fingertips, baby, fingertips. Get the angle right.
Yeah. No, not only that, but you can actually use your like a fist. If you spank with a fist, hit me up on Instagram.
Okay. You can just send me some videos, Karl.
Yes, I will.
You can send me some videos.
I will.
Amazing. Well, I'll plug myself. Anna Barros on YouTube, Anna Barros Comedian on Facebook, and AF Barros on Instagram. That has been Adults Only Comedy. Goodbye.
Ciao.